by the European United Nordic League that anti-solidarity for organising this hearing and to allow victims a voice. I'm speaking to you on behalf of the British Tamils Forum, an umbrella organisation that represents over 350,000 Tamil diaspora in the United Kingdom. We have gathered here today at the most influential power centres in Europe, the European Parliament. First of all, we should remember those people who were massacred in the war against the Tamils by the Sri Lankan state years ago. More than 40,000 innocent Tamil men, women and children were brutally murdered under the watch of the international community. Another 100,000 people remain unaccounted for since the end of the war, 18th May 2009. Sri Lankan regime claimed that there were zero civilian casualties. According to Kacheri, which is the local government office of Mullaitivu and Kilinochchi, the population in Bani in October 2008 was 429,059. According to UN OCHA update, as of 10th July 2009, the total number of people who came to the Bani to government-controlled area after this is estimated to be 282,380. However, the number of people who came to these areas during this time indicate that 146,679 people are unaccounted for. In a statement given to LLRC by the Bishop of Mannar, Reverend Father Ryan Pingo Joseph, Reverend Victor Sosai, and Reverend Xavier Cruz, the numbers have been verified and confirmed by the British TV channel, its own investigators who have exposed the extrajudicial killing of prisoners of war by the Sri Lankan military. Now, the UN officials have analysed this footage and have been concluded to be genuine. The unaccounted Tamil civilians and the statement before mentioned should itself warrant an immediate, independent international investigation to establish and ascertain the true extent of genocide. It should be noted here that in February 2009, the military spokesman Brigadier Udayanarayan Bhagat announced at a press brief that there were only 70,000 people in war zone, when in fact the government had known the number to be nearly 430,000. The deliberate understatement of numbers by the Sri Lankan government, acknowledged in the report, had two primary motives. Firstly, to intentionally deny the Tamil civilians humanitarian aid, consequently people dying in starvation without aid and medicine. Secondly, to conceal the genocide of Tamil people post-war. The Sri Lankan government, having banned independent international media and NGOs from the war zone during the military onslaught, still continue to restrict independent humanitarian aid, human rights and media agencies from reaching the Tamil people, in the anticipation that it could bury the truth forever. Although we believe the truth will prevail eventually, it did not come in time to save 146,679 presumed dead. Instead, Sri Lankan state is sending perpetrators of human rights and war crime to world stages to justify their crime against humanity. It believed that approximately 12,000 people were detained on alleged association with the Liberation Tigers of Tamil, and to date the government of Sri Lanka have not released these names. It is an international norm to give details of detainees to Red Cross and give access. But in the case of Sri Lanka, no such details were given. Even the government of Sri Lanka claims it has released 4,500 of these detainees. No names were released, making it impossible to verify such claims. The UN panel experts have reported that there is credible evidence to instigate an inquiry into war crime and crime against humanity committed in conduct of war in Sri Lanka. However, the United Nations continues with its inaction by calling on the very same murderous Sri Lankan regime to investigate its own murder. Comparing this with Libya, this is a classic example of diplomatic duplicity by the international community. The Tamil people have no faith in Sri Lankan judiciary or any other Sri Lankan state-appointed mechanism to conduct an independent investigation to bring the war criminal to account. Over 60 years, all internal mechanisms and remedies were exhausted, and nothing resulted in any such in finding any justice. From 1948, Tamils were in the receiving end of many pogroms, riots and massacres. We demand an international independent investigation into crimes committed against our people. The inaction of the international community played a major role in the massacre of Tamils. Now is watching the aftermath and path the singular government has chosen. They have now resumed decimation of Tamil nation at a much accelerated pace. Buddhist temples at state expense have mushroomed in Tamil villages and towns where there were no Buddhists. Monuments of conquest have been resurrected at every corner to remember the Tamils that theirs is a conquered land. All this at a time when Tamil people are still languishing under the trees and tarpaulin with nowhere else to find shelter. The ongoing persecution of Tamil people in their homeland, starvation and malnutrition are strife. Murder, rape, abduction and enforced disappearance are rampant in the hands of single armed forces and paramilitary groups. No Tamil person will and iota to trust the Sri Lankan regime to deliver justice. Tamils are the rightful owners of their land and properties will not stay subjugated. For sustainable peace and coexistence in the island to achieve, the Tamils and the singular people need to recognize each other's nationhood. We will continue our struggle until there is true peace in the island, a peace based on mutual respect of each other's freedom, independence and nationhood. The political climate in which singular tribalism blinds humanity, there is no chance that a singular dominated Sri Lankan regime will conduct independent, impartial war crime inquiry and risk being thrown out of the office by the Sinhalese people. We wish to convey a clear message to the Sri Lankan state and the international community. We therefore demand that an independent international investigation is conducted, supported by comprehensive witness protection afforded to the Tamil community by a UN task force. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now,